It's Terrible Tuesday. You already know we at work decided to hop on top of it with individuals. He was the talk of the town. He's going to win the curve. You heard me. Just set this up. All right. Now, for those who are curious, I did drop a new video on this channel if you guys want to scope it out. Basically talking about the overall psychology of things. New generation versus old generations, ideologies on how stuff is done. And which era is the better era. Because you get those kind of arguments and talks across every kind of conversation. Mr. Pasa is definitely up in the casa for the raza. What's cracking like it, my boy? Que dice la buena vida, carnal? A toda madre un desmadre. We've been good. You should look up to the brochas. Why, my boy? What about them have you looking up to them? Orale, I feel you. That way it could be on and cracking when Thanksgiving meal gets hit. Not all of them behave like that, just those individuals for some strange reason. And it may be because of the attention. I don't know. Maybe they just crave attention. Before 11:59 tonight. Oh, I feel you. Yeah, that is the deadline. My daughter be telling me the same thing too. Like, it's got to be done before 11:59. What is the resistance? I've been getting asked that question a lot lately. Like, are you a part of the resistance? I'm like, the resistance? What is the resistance? What is that? I'm like, what? Nobody has replied back when I asked, what the hell is that? People saying Eminem destroyed people's rap career when he dissed them. I don't feel like he destroyed people's rap careers. You know, I think rappers themselves destroy their own rap careers. You know, I think maybe what it is that maybe, you know, the diss track was like, they thought it was so good that maybe that it now they're not so confident about their own rap skills. You know what I mean? And maybe that in itself is the reason why it seems that way. Right? But I don't think like people just listen to his rap song and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to the guy he dissed no more. You know, I don't really feel like people really have that kind of pull on the masses. Yesterday I took my I passed it. Yeah, I feel you. Hey, that's good, bro. That's good to hear. That's good. Congratulations. You're doing real things. The resistance is the guys who go against the other gunner like explosive. The resistance? Oh, is that like what he calls like? Like, well, I don't get it though. Oh, is that what he calls himself? Wait, why would I be? Then why would people ask if I'm a part of that? Or you mean like the group of individuals are called that? Like, it's just YouTube. I'm a part of nothing. I merely come and speak facts. That is it. Like, how could I say? I don't go out of my way to try to bring these individuals down, right? If I'm asked questions by my subscribers about the topics, then I make videos, right? But other than that, I can care less what the hell they're doing with themselves. I merely come spit the facts, tell the truth. That's it. Then I go about my way. You know, I'm not gonna be dwelling on those individuals. 6ix9ine can. Oh, is he still rapping? I thought he was just trying to be a podcaster now. No, wasn't that what he was trying to do? He was trying to do a podcast, but it didn't do so. It didn't go over so well. He had a lot of trolls. People overhyped Eminem for his diss tracks and how he's the GOAT. They put too much on his plate. Eminem is a really, really great rapper. I don't think he's a GOAT of diss tracks, though. His diss tracks were alright. They weren't all that. I think where Eminem shined the most is when somebody would feature him in a track. You know what I mean? Like when somebody else was in control of making the beats and the concept. I think that's when he shines the most. When it's not his beat or his concept, but somebody else's. Because for some strange reason, he always comes with the weirdest concepts and the weirdest beat selection. But when he spits on it, it's fuego. But I think he shines the most when it's somebody else, driving and he's just a passenger. Some people would say back in the days, Gunner made a video admitting to telling, but then he deleted it and it's inactive. Who is on it? Yeah, I don't understand the reason for that. And that video did get a lot of views. Somebody who the hell has sent it to me? It was somebody who had a channel. I can't remember who was the one that had sent me the clip to the video. And I was like, okay, so I scoped it out, and I was just like, what the hell? There's a trip. I think it was Triple OG, if I'm not mistaken. He's probably the one that had sent it to me. But I'm not sure, though. He's supposed to call himself his fans. Oh, all right. Have you ever seen the movie? Oh, yeah. I seen The Wash. The album, The Wash, the actual CD of that movie, The Wash, that's a good album. Has a lot of good tracks on it. Fire tracks. That was a really good album. Really good album produced by Dr. Dre. It has a lot of good tracks that Dre rapped in as well. If anything, he should consider that one of his albums. People should consider that one of his albums, even though it's a collab with him and Snoop Dogg and several other individuals. Nocturnal, Exhibit, Corrupt, Daz, everybody and their mother's in that album. But that album was fire, fuego. I remember I bought it, man. Hey, money well spent. Where were you ranked? Sad Boy Loco on top Southern Chicano rappers of all time. I was never a fan of his music like that. You know what I mean? He's a good rapper, right? But I feel like there's a lot of good rappers, before him though. I miss the old YouTube does. Where he was just humble. What about Blackie Fontana? Where would you rank him on top Southern Chicano rappers of all time? Like his rap still needed work on it. He himself talked about it. He himself talked about that. He's not the best of rappers, but he just comes and it real. You know what I mean? He had the same thing that Toker had. Like they can see that they're not the best rappers, but their overall what they're saying is legit though. You get what I mean? Because for them, it was always more about them getting what they had on their mind, like them wanting to say what they wanted to say, right? And not caring so much about the flow of the music, the flow of the track. They concentrated more on lyrics than actually rhythm and pacing. I don't know about all that, and nor do I care about none of that, kind of stuff, What about you? Neverland, where he had kids, and I had fun. The reason why I think he's guilty, though, like, not so much the allegations and everything, right? But I think what's highlighted on Michael Jackson the most, right, is that okay, he had a kid sleeping in his home that he didn't know, right, and he was sleeping in the bed with them. Okay, He was saying that there's nothing going on, that nothing ever happened, and yada yada. Even though there was cameras that would alert him before when somebody was getting close to his bedroom, it would go off. Right? He said it was for safety reasons because he is a celebrity who with a lot of money, so people would want to come and blah blah blah. Right? All in itself, could explain maybe the reasons for him doing what he was, or the reason for him having everything set up the way it was set up. But I think what's highlighted the most is he had already been sued for this kind of behavior before. He had already been, accused of this kind of stuff, and he settled it. He paid off the family. He settled it, right? And this is facts. The records are there. This is facts. He settled it, right? And after you have already been accused and gone through this drama once already, you still kept doing it though. You would think he would be like, okay, even though I'm not doing nothing wrong, I probably shouldn't do that because I have already been sued for that kind of shit, and people were outraged, so I should probably hey, not do it again. But he kept doing it though, and he admitted to it, right? And he kept saying, well, I'm not doing anything wrong though. And it's like people that have bad traits to them that they can't control, like pedophiles and people that are do these kind of things because they can't help themselves. They can't control their urges. This fits right along there, right? Because you're a celebrity, you already know how this is going to be seen, yet you still keep doing it because you can't help yourself. You can't help but to do it. You get me? Which lines up to the pattern of being an abuser. You get what I mean? Because he kept doing it though, even though people had already seen it, in some type of way. He you know what I mean? And it's not like something that's like, well, fuck that. I'm not gonna let them win, and control my behavior. You know what I mean? It's not something that's like that. It's something that could be seen as understandable. Like, okay, I probably shouldn't do that, and I won't do that, right? But no, he just kept doing it, even though it's something that could be avoided, right? It's not something that he needed to fucking happen. It's not like he needed, but apparently it is. Apparently it was something that he just needed to do. Because if not, he wouldn't keep finding himself in the same predicament. And that's why I think, when I think about him, because, I mean, if not, why even, That used to be in the YouTube. Everyone's channel. Yeah, it's sad that some people, their egos just inflate. Did you hear about the female rapper who died this weekend? No, I didn't. Hey, shout out to Phoenix. Oh, I remember Mr. Blue. What are your thoughts on it's supposed to be challenging guns collective to a fight because I mean, well, if that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do. I don't care. I don't care about that kind of stuff. Like that's irrelevant to me. I doubt it will happen. I don't believe Gunner will actually show up to fight anybody. Mr. Blue Central Side. Oh yeah, I remember Central Side Records. Yeah, actually, I have some of his albums. Also, it's supposed to has multiple times, but refused to answer. Damn, he's really on their headpiece like that, huh? That's funny. What do you think about him getting? So that's why he's so emotional. Who? You mean the Eminem, or who? I'm talking about the female. I didn't even know there was a female rapper from out there. Dubs keep saying that. He's probably some PC. See, it's that kind of talk. Like, why refer to them as that when you yourself were on those yards? Like, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, yeah. See, this is the kind of shit that I talk about, right? Like, this is the stuff that, people be like, no, well, he's not trying to act like he's active. Like, he's calling people PC groups, bro. Like, if that's beneath him, when he himself was in those yards. That's like a snitch calling somebody else a snitch. Like, what? If somebody calls somebody else a snitch, you would think that this person is legit. He never told. He's a solid individual, right? But then you find out he's a snitch, and then you're confused. You're like, wait, well then why is he calling that person a snitch? Exactly. They're trying to come across off as a different way, especially if that individual won't admit that he's a snitch, but then say that he doesn't care to be looked as an active participant. What? Then it just doesn't make sense. Like make it make sense. My was when he thought Eminem was crazy in that. Oh, because like he acted like all crazy and stuff. Yeah, I think it was a cry for attention in my personal opinion. She was a Amber style in the North. That's crazy. I mean, Northridge does crack though, but it's a little bit, of a more nicer area than the rest of the San Fernando Valley. Don't get me wrong; it has its places that are, treacherous, and that's probably maybe where the area where she was hanging out in. Remember the scene? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Hey, and he was on steroids, no? Hitting all those homers. What if some people who say you are only trying to control what you call them the bad behavior? They're always gonna look for any type of explanation to try to credit their behavior. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna keep looking and fishing to see, what can they say that way it could justify their means. You know what I mean? Like the people that are guilty, they all have reasons for to try to justify their behaviors. They just can't own up to them. They can't own up to their behaviors. You know, it's always everybody else's fault. It's never theirs. It's the reason why he was so because he had fun with them because he had a childhood from. Yeah, no, I can see it from when he said that, right? But as he had already been accused and people were outraged, right? You would think that he would be like, all right, well then, better not do this because it's gonna get me in hot water. I have already been, you know what I mean? Because he already had picked up, he had been through the scenario before. It's not like this was his first time. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that he keeps doing it though, even though after all this shit, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like there's no excuse for it. Mr. Blue was from Chiquis. No, I don't think he was from Chiquis. Who's really getting to dubs and gonna, do like TikTok instead. I think what it is though, I think is that before they had more people. I think before they had more people, I guess, like defending them and not supporting this type of behavior, right? Because I think more people back then used to ride with them, right? But now they're starting to see their numbers, declined, and now more and more people, jumping off the boat, right? That's why it's starting to get to them. I think because they're starting to feel the effects of it, right? They're not getting as many views as before, subscribers, and I think that's the reason why they get triggered faster because they see that it's starting to work. Yeah, more people are starting to realize, yeah, these guys are full of shit. Before, people used to, make videos pointing out their flaws, but they were still getting a big type of support base, right? So that just only inflated their arrogance and their ego, right? So they don't, why have to change the behavior or why have to even trip on it, right? When you're still getting a bunch of views. But now that they're feeling it, that's why they get irritated a lot faster, you know? This is the brothers. Who's in trouble? I don't know about none of all that, right? That's all stuff that's I don't care. That's already all stuff that's above people's pay rates. Another in the game. Does really thinks he's not in trouble with the higher when he went PC that he's going to this. I think if people focus more on that stuff, I think they're they're ill advised. You get what I mean? Um, that's why I just don't touch on the subjects. Like, it's. I think people are misunderstanding his situation. Not to defend his situation, right? But I mean, um, it's 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 different than what people actually think, right? But I mean, people are gonna come to their own conclusions regardless, right, of the matters. I think if people focus more on the actual like situation, um, it's just something that shouldn't be focused on. Some try to say expose is probably you. I have been everything in the book, bro. I have been triple OG. I was chemo flicks at one point. They said now I'm exposed to. I have my own channel, and I am not afraid to speak my mind. If I really have something to say to these individuals, I would say it. You know what I mean? I don't need another channel to do that. You know what I mean? There's no reason for it. I am not a fan of these individuals. You know, I don't care for Dubs nor Gunner. You know what I mean? I've said that many times. You know, I don't fuck with them. I will never fuck with them. But I don't need a different channel in order to get that point across. You get what I mean? Like, if I really felt some type of way, I will call them out on my own channel. I don't need a different channel to do that. Those cringe people who do time with him already, why he did what he did, and some special. The fact that you're trying to explain yourself, it should already say everything. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to explain yourself to these people if that really was the case. You know what I mean? You just let them believe whatever the fuck they want. But that's what I'm saying. People are too focusing so much on the actual like snitching means of things that that's irrelevant on the internet. You know what I mean? I think people are putting him in a boat and in a basket that he shouldn't be in, right? Like, I think people are making too much of the situation, right? It's not that deep, right? And that I could already see people are just they're going about it. They are also in the wrong for doing that kind of stuff, right? Like, they're talking about stuff that they have no knowledge of or authority to be speaking about, right? You know, that's like already above their pay rate. Like, if people are naming, you know, certain groups and, you know, reasons for him, they're already talking about stuff that they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. You know, and that's the reason why if you see somebody who is, you know, somebody who hangs around, they don't ever dive deep into the matters because that's irrelevant to everybody else. No, yeah, I'm saying Pete he gets what he deserves, right? Because he's in denial for debriefing, you know. But I think people are making more of his case. It's like nobody's saying that Renegade Media was an NF member that fell off, you know. Like, people aren't adding more to Renegade Media's story, but they're adding a lot more to Dubs. Well, no, it is you're there's no rule saying that you're not allowed to mention stuff, right? But the thing is that why even talk about the matter in general, right? But there's no rule saying that you can't mention it. Like, you can mention it, right? But the thing is that why talk about something you shouldn't be talking about? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can mention these organizations. Like, there's no rule saying you can't mention them, right? But the things that why talk about them? You know, you get what I'm saying? See, that's how you already know that people are talking about stuff that they really don't have like an idea of what's going on. Like there's no rule saying that you can't mention them by their names. But the thing is that why are you talking about stuff that you shouldn't be talking about? That's the thing. That's how you already know it's out of people's. But that's what I'm saying though. Like, why would he be in trouble with certain individuals, right? If you're no good, you're no good to the program in general, right? But it doesn't have to do with a specific individuals though. I don't think people should focus in on, you know, why he fell off or focus on the consequences for him, right? I think people should just stick to what they know, right? Like they should be offended that he's lying to you, that he manipulated you, and not care so much about the actual inner workings of the situation. Because if you are not affiliated, you shouldn't care for that kind of information. That information should be irrelevant to you. Get what I mean? And I think that that's what certain individuals like Chemoflakes and other groups try to do, or individuals when they come and you know speak about that type of stuff, right? That they're pointing out the lies. What are your thoughts on people who do this? I mean, people can diss, you know what I mean, but that's relevant, Like, if they're not really doing anything, then they can talk out and bark all they want. It's irrelevant to the matter. Like it's not a people just come and say something. It's a threat that they come and do something. So people can bark and yap all they want, but if they're not doing nothing, then what is it good for? Then what does it matter? Get what I mean? People are gonna care about if somebody comes and does something compared to somebody saying something. It's kind of like if somebody's dissing my hood, what are we gonna care about? The person that's dissing my hood on the internet, or the person that's actually coming and doing something about it? Like, what are people gonna focus in on? Grammys like award shows. Brilliant, but do you think or Kendrick take the best rapper album award? Yeah, I think so. I think because of the trend and the amount of people that actually fuck with or fucking with their music, right? Like the you had everybody in the song and singing along. I think that accounts for something. You know what I mean? When you have individuals who don't even like rap singing along to your rap songs, that should kind of count for something. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It's good shopping with you guys, and we out.